Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. This is Simon with AvaTrade, and I welcome you to our weekly webinar, Mapping Out Your Week Ahead. Special welcome goes to new people. I will explain what we do here. And in simple words, I like to quote traders when they say, you plan your trade and then you trade your plan. It doesn't guarantee success, but definitely removes unnecessary chaos and spontaneous trading from your practice. So that's what we're trying to do here, making a simple plan for the upcoming trading week. Few things about myself. My name is Simon Friedman. I'm a senior account manager with AvaTrade. I started my trading career June of 2000, so it's more than 24 years that I'm involved in this crazy industry, crazy, fascinating, and exciting industry. So I hope you're enjoying your journey as well. So I did prop trading for about 11 years on Wall Street, and then I moved on into, as I like to say, less stressful environment. I continued to trade, and I started to also mentor and educate others. And I'm very happy I have this great opportunity to assist our customers at AvaTrade. The agenda of the webinar, as usual, we talk about indices, stocks, commodities, forex. We discuss big picture, trying to understand important things that did happen the past week and what's to expect in the upcoming week. We mix fundamentals with some technicals. Risk warning, you can find the full statement at avatrade.com website. Of course, what we do here is purely educational. We do not suggest any trades. Social media, I want to invite you to join us at Telegram X and my favorite YouTube channel, where you can find a lot of educational materials, tutorials. You can find webinars. If you miss a webinar, or you think you're going to miss a webinar, or you simply just want to go through the webinars that we did in the past, you're more than welcome to go to our channel, subscribe, click on that bell so you'll be notified on fresh things coming in. And of course, if you like it, don't forget to click like. Feel free to share it with your friends and write your comments if you have some. Okay, let's move on. So before we go into explaining what happened, as you know, it's been a busy week, probably the busiest week in a few years, if not to say more. We had elections results, and Trump won, and market reacted to it. You saw it. We made all-time highs on U.S. indices. We had some negative moves on some assets, some positive. It was a strong move on a lot of volatility. And also we had interest rate decisions, both from the US and the UK. They both cut the rates by 25 basis points, or 0.25%. We'll take a look at those instruments as well. And this week, we're going to go through economic calendar shortly and see what's expected for this week. So here's the article, a few articles from marketwatch.com. You can look through them, very interesting. Title says here, Trump victory spark seismic week for stock market. Investors need to keep cool. And it says right here, election reaction often produce trends that don't prove to be durable investment opportunity strategies. Note. Of course, you will find after each event, you will find people that say positive things or bullish traders, and of course you're going to find the other group, they're going to be bearish. And that's the beauty of the market. Otherwise we wouldn't have market, right? If anybody thought we're going higher, nobody would be selling it. It wouldn't be any market. You wouldn't buy from anybody. So that's the beauty. There's always two groups, at least two groups. There's also people that don't participate, but in active traders, there are those that thinking we're going higher, and there's the other group that thinks that we're going lower, and that's what creates the market activity. So here you can find interesting information as far as Trump and his policies and how he might affect the US debt and how that might be negative for the markets and so on. The same thing here, another article here, why Wall Street may hold the ultimate veto power over Trump budget plans. And it says right here, Wall Street investors are bracing for a battle over Trump policies and plans that risk ballooning the US debt load. As you know, US already in the deep debt, and it's always we're coming to the point that they need to extend it and so on. There's not really a real solution at this point. So we're going to face those instances. I'm sure it's going to happen. So gold, nice article here. What will happen to the US dollar deficit and debt under Trump? Watch gold. Okay. So here, holding gold is one of the few antidotes to rising sovereign risk, said Ryan McIntyre of Sprott. Whoever that is, I guess he knows what he's saying. Otherwise, they wouldn't be publishing him. And again, there are different opinions. Some say gold is too high. Others holding it, trying to get it to 3,000. Like everything else, we'll watch and see. We're not here to make predictions. We're here to trade, try to analyze the markets, and look for opportunities. Okay, the Feds, after the cutting quarter percent this past week, the next decision we are facing is on December 18. This is the Fed's CME Feds tool. You can Google it, just type CME Feds tool, and you can actually watch and track where's the probability for the next rate. So as of now, there's 64.6% probability that it will be another quarter point percentage cut on the next decision date, 18th of December. Here's the economic calendar. As I like to say, it's important to know about these things. It's up to you whether you use this, you trade into it, after it, during it, before it. But knowing that there's certain things that are happening, it's important. So at least you will prepare yourself to do or not to do, or just be aware of certain things happening. So here I usually take the high impact events. You can find WebTrader on our, the economic calendar on our WebTrader, or the mobile app, or just Google it. It's public information. It's being posted ahead of time. You can be prepared. So here, as I said, I take the high impact events. You can choose whatever is relevant for you. Also here, it shows GMT time, just kind of a universal time. Then you can adjust to whatever time is comfortable for you. So Monday, we're starting with inflation expectations from New Zealand. Tuesday, we have CPI numbers from Germany. We have employment data from UK. Wednesday, monetary policy from Bank of England. I guess they will be discussing their decision from last week. CPI numbers, I think the highlight for the markets this week, and that's also on Wednesday from the US. A governor from Bank of Australia speaks on that day as well. Thursday, we have employment data from Australia, GDP numbers from Europe, PPI numbers also important from US, and the Chair Powell speaks on Thursday as well. Now, this is important for yen and Japanese market, the GDP numbers from Japan. Friday, we'll be watching China. China is really in focus of traders. We have industrial production and retail sales from China on Friday. We have GDP numbers from UK and retail sales closing the week on Friday from US. So again, these are only the high impact events. There's so much more. You can browse through them and choose whatever is relevant to your trading. Okay, so another thing, 10-year yields, important to see. It's also as part of the articles that I mentioned to you a few minutes ago. On Wednesday, after the results came in, the market opened, we had a huge move to the upside on 10-year yields together with equities, which is kind of contradicting one another. And that's why it's a little bit confusion there with traders. So as the next 2 days, we actually retraced. I almost came to the bottom of it. So we'll continue watching 10-year yields for simple reason. The up move in 10-year yields, it's good for US dollar normally, right? Logically. It's not so good for gold. The gold usually goes in the other direction, and also usually the equity markets go to the other direction. But we've been going up since the Fed's half point cut. Both equities were going higher, 10-year yields were going higher, and also gold was going higher. So that's why it's a little bit of confusion on Wall Street, and I guess we'll find what's the real move pretty soon. So that the 10-year yields, we'll continue watching that. Now, as I started a few weeks back, the tradition of the champions and the losers for the week. So I just wanted to bring it up to you. We'll take a look in more details when we get to those markets. So here we go. The biggest gainer was Russell 2000. It's the US index that covers the small caps. It was up for a week, 8.61%. NASDAQ 100 was up 5.33%. S&P index, S&P 500 was up 4.6, and Dow Jones 4.6 as well. So palladium, the commodities went down. Palladium went down 10.5%, silver went down 3.8%, gold 2%, and copper down 1.38%. So these are the things. Now, what happens in the upcoming week? We might see correction, we might see continuation. We'll see, especially in the big moves right here. Also, we'll take a look at some banking stocks. The first reaction of South banks when they opened on Wednesday, some of them, they were up 10, 13%. So the banks are kind of in love with Trump ideas, I guess. Okay, so we're going to move now to the trading platform. And we'll start with China, actually. China had a nice try, actually. We did move higher on Thursday. After Wednesday, the negative reaction to it, then we moved up. We hit the 38% retracement here. Just to remind us, especially to new people, what happened here. China's been beaten up a lot with pandemic and other things that affected local economy in a bad way. So they announced certain things, certain easing policies, and boosting the economy by injecting capital and changing policies for the banks and so on, trying to save financial and real estate system. So the market took it very positively. We had a very strong, robust move to the upside within probably 2 weeks, looks like it. And then in 2 days, we give away half of it, right? Right here, if you remember, we discussed it. October 8 and 9, we give away exactly 50% of that move. Then we were choppy here between 61 and 50 retracement. Then Thursday, we tried to move higher. We hit the 38, another level of resistance, and then we came right back on Friday, just erasing the previous day's gain. So definitely, and as you know, if you regular these webinars, when I speak about China, I bring up 4 instruments: that crude oil, copper, Australian, and New Zealand dollar. And as we could see, they reacted in a similar way. I'm going to start with copper. Just remember this picture right here. Copper acted actually in a similar way. Take a look. It was a sell-off, strong sell-off actually on Wednesday, then a recovery on Thursday, and a sell-off on Friday again. Crude oil, also Wednesday sell-off with a little recovery, Thursday move up, and Friday sell-off again. And Australian dollar, similar story. It's similar to the move of Chinese index here and Australian as well. Now, why do I show you these 4 instruments? You know, China, they're buying everything from the neighbors. They buy crude oil, they buy copper, they buy also other commodities from Australia and New Zealand. That's why both of these currencies, called commodity currencies, Australia and New Zealand, as they sell a lot of goods to China, a lot of commodities. So there's a correlation usually with the Chinese market to those 4 instruments. Okay, so that's China. If we're already in Asia, so let's take a quick look at Japanese index. Wednesday, actually, the index went up with the US indices, and also as the yen got weakened on Wednesday due to the strength of the dollar. So it helped the Japanese index to move higher. The next day we were flat, and Friday we give away most of that gains. Now, US indices, we're going to start with Russell 2000, the small caps. As it had the strong week, as we mentioned, it gained more than 8%. Strong move. We still didn't hit the all-time highs. We're close to that level, and we'll continue watching the Russell. We might see continuation. we might see a correction, or we might even see reversal. As we mentioned before, it's all exciting, but there's also some threat to the debt with the US, which might cause some negative moves on the market. So that's Russell. NASDAQ was the second one. Nice move to the upside. This is the weekly chart. We're in the brand new territory, nothing to stop it if it chooses to go higher. Here we go. Friday, though, we closed flat after beating the previous high, but we closed below that. So we'll continue watching NASDAQ, of course. And S&P 500 as well, with brand new territory. Very strong week, closed almost at the highs. And Dow Jones, similar situation. So all the US indices super, super strong. Now, with Trump coming in, it's important to know that I guess we're going to see more things coming out and being explained to us. But as of now, we know that banks are very positive to probably the biggest movers, financials and high tech, or the semiconductors. They moved higher, the Trump's victory. In becoming a president. So we know the banks and the technology going to be great. Tesla moved higher. We're going to go through the stocks when we get there. So as of now, this is the situation. Cryptocurrency reacted in a positive way. Trump is a big supporter of crypto. Bitcoin made the all-time high. We're going to take a look as well. So this is so far the results of the elections. We're going to see more things as we're getting closer of Trump taking the office in January. So that's the U.S. indices. Now, his first agenda is the tariffs. That's what China reacted in a negative way. Also, European indices didn't react positively to it. Friday, we did close lower on German index. UK actually closed below 200 moving average here. This is something to watch, really. Friends, holding this support around 73.45. We'll continue watching the world indices here. So let's move to individual stocks, and we'll start with Tesla. As I think I saw somewhere that Elon Musk, of course, if you heard the speech of Trump, his victory speech, even before he was announced as winning the elections, he mentioned a lot of people that he thanked to, and one of them was Elon Musk. And I think I read somewhere that Elon Musk invested into Trump's campaign about 130 million. And he's involved, of course, with what's happening, and it looks like he's going to continue being involved. As you could see, the price of Tesla reflected that favorite, I guess, attention of Trump. Here we go. 3 consecutive days, huge move, and we just got out of the woods actually of a while ago. We were here in July 2022 on Tesla, so a very, very strong move on Tesla. Also, speaking of technology, we had Intel. I'm trying to find it. Here we go. Intel had a nice move, 3 consecutive days with the gaps. We continue higher on Intel. Now, banks, huge move initially on Wednesday. We're trying to hold that territory. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, tremendous move to the all-time high territory. Even Bank of America, the one that Warren Buffett's been selling, reacted very positively to the upside. Citibank as well, other banks as well. So we had a lot of banking stocks feeling very, very happy with Trump becoming a president. So these are the major moves. Now, on the other hand, we had pharmaceuticals that are feeling threatened by Trump and Kennedy Jr. as they're trying to create a reform in pharmaceutical industry, blaming pharmaceutical companies for different things, including dealing with COVID and other things. So here's Johnson & Johnson sold it 3 days in a row since the election results, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. The same thing happened to Pfizer. Here we go. We just broke through the support of mid-June. strong sell-off Friday with the gap. Also, the stock they've been talking about, Teva Pharmaceutical, as it was trying to break through after a nice correction. Take a look what happened to it on Wednesday, a huge sell-off. So it looks like the pharmaceutical industry is feeling threatened by Trump, and it's obviously showing on the charts. So we'll continue watching the pharmaceuticals and see how and what they do in upcoming days, weeks, and months. Now, we continue the earnings season, and just want to show you a few of the major companies that are reporting. Tuesday, we have Home Depot reporting. The stock is trying to recover here after the recent correction to the downside. Friday with the gap, followed by Thursday move up. And the initial election reaction was not such a positive. So we'll take a look what Home Depot presents to us as earnings. And that's on Tuesday. Cisco Systems, a very strong stock, reporting on Wednesday. And here we go. We are sitting at the highs, trying to break through the last year's end August level. So they are reporting on Wednesday. Walt Disney on Thursday is reporting. As you know, the stock had a hard past year or so, and we are trying to recover here. So we did gap on Wednesday with the election results, and then we're holding that. Let's see what the reports on earnings show on Thursday. And Friday, we're closing with Alibaba, Chinese company. The chart looks exactly as Chinese index. We had a huge move up, and then we had a sell-off. Thursday up, Friday down. It looks very choppy because it trades as an ADR on the US exchanges. So here we go, 94.10, holding that after gap level here and reporting on Friday. Now, something I wanted to bring us, VIX, the fear factor with the markets going higher, the VIX actually were down for this week 32%. So this is the ETF that corresponds with VIX, with the volatility index or fear index. As you could see here, this was the beginning of August. If you remember, we reached 65 level. I already mentioned it a few times. Then we sold, came back to support, and take a look. We've been selling the last few days as the market's going higher. So the VIX are going the opposite direction. We are currently at the level of support that we were in on 12th of July. From here, we start to move higher. So we're going to watch this current levels here of possible bounce, or we might go lower. So it's one of the popular instruments that traders are watching involving the moves on VIX. So this is something to pay attention. Now, as we said, a lot of moves in the market. A lot of stocks are still reporting. Let's just see a few more banks that had. This is the Morgan Stanley. Let's see if I have Wells Fargo here. No, but it's. I think we are having it. Any event. Nvidia worth to watch, as Nvidia replaced Intel on Dow Jones index. As you saw, Intel didn't suffer from it. They continue higher, and Nvidia is also continuing higher, I think, with the all-time highs as well. We'll continue watching Nvidia. I think Nvidia is not reporting this week. The following week, I think on the 20th of November, they report, and that's going to be important for us to watch as well. So that wraps up the individual stocks. We'll move now to commodities, and we start with the biggest losers for the week. Palladium was the champion to the downside. Take a look. We stopped right on 200-day moving average here after reaching a nice price here. We hit the high of 12. What is this here? 1254, and then we sold, came straight to 200 moving average here. So let's see what Palladium does this week. we will see some recovery. So you could see this is a serious level. We had a lot of actions here with a lot of tails before moving higher. So that's palladium. Silver came, broke through this 3140 level, the one that was holding as a resistance, and then became a support around here on mid-October. Let's see how silver will act the upcoming week. Of course, gold is massaging this level here at 2684. This was the previous resistance from which we made a correction before moving nicely higher. So this was on 26th of September, and the high was here 2685.5. And we are playing with that level. We're still holding that 50-day moving average, still holding here. So let's see what gold does in the upcoming week. Copper, as we said, had a strong sell-off with the results of election, tried to recover, almost fully recover, and then sold again. So we are clearly in this tight channel, 422 and 444. Let's see which way we hold. Now, what's positive potentially for copper is here that we still 50, it's a fresh golden cross that just happened about a week ago, with a 50-day moving average crossing above 200, which normally or classically is a signal for some buying programs for some of the technical traders. So it's still holding higher. Let's see how things are playing out in the upcoming week. Now, of course, oil and natural gas, it's worth watching. As we know, oil, on the demand side, China is affecting it and the global economy as well. On the supply side, sometimes we'll feel fear due to the hard situation in the Middle East, which continues, unfortunately, with the war going on. And there was initial move higher, then we came back, and we kind of hesitating here around 72. It's resistance here. And Friday we sold as China sold down as well. So that's your oil. Now, natural gas, very interesting situation here. We are above the 50-day moving average. We did close the gap that we mentioned, I think, twice, or at least once, when we said the new contract sometimes with initial move goes towards the price of the old contract, has a tendency on closing the gap, and that's exactly what happened here. And then we moved away, moved up again. So we might come retest the 257 level, or we might actually continue higher from here. And some traders might find it as a bull flag right here with the pole and the flag. So this formation is traded when we break the previous day's high. Some traders would enter the buy positions. In any event, we're going to be watching what's happening with natural gas this upcoming week. So that concludes the commodities, and we're moving to Forex. As usual, we start with dollar index, a huge move up on that Wednesday after the decision or the election results. Then we sold right back the following day on Thursday, and Friday we moved up again. So it looks like we're holding this 104.18. What was the level here exactly? The sell-off started on the 2nd of August with the level of 104.20. That was the top of this candle. So 104.20, it looks like it's a support now. After we broke through it, see, it was holding as a resistance, then we broke. So it looks like it's becoming support. Again, let's see what the market will show us. Now, of course, the euro dollar is just the mirror image of that. It was a huge reaction down on the euro with the President Trump winning. British pound as well reacted down the next day up, interestingly enough, because actually there was also interest rate cut for the Bank of England, but pound reacted in a positive way. I guess it was priced in already. So we are in this tight channel between 129 and 130.5. We'll continue watching it. Now, yen is worth watching as we have some economic numbers from Japan coming up. Take a look. Initial move was up actually on dollar, yen. Obviously, the dollar reacted in a positive way, but the next 2 days, We sold, giving away most of that profit here, and we stopped right on that 200 moving average here. So it's worth watching the rest of the pairs. As you could see, some of them show some serious weakness against the yen. The only interesting thing here, take a look. Speaking of golden cross again, on the Swiss yen, we just showed the beginning of the golden cross on Friday when with the closing, the 50-day moving average moved above 200. So let's see how that plays out. But the price action, we had 2 consecutive days with the strong selling here. Aussie, also JPY sold strongly, erasing the 3 previous days of profits here. Canadian as well. EURJPY, strong sell-off here as Euro showed a lot of weakness here. So we'll continue watching the yen, of course, pound yen as well, and New Zealand yen as well. So it could be that we might see some strength in the yen or the opposite, but it is trying to hold these current levels and trying to regain the power, regain the upside momentum. Now, the 3 pairs that we mentioned, let's take a look at them again. The exotics, the USD ZAR. If you remember, I mentioned to you, when we see the weakness of a dollar, we should see a strong move down, because on this crazy move on the US dollar to the upside, this pair didn't really move, just showed some strength. I don't know what fundamentals are, but for some reason, ZAR didn't sell against the dollar. And as you could see here, USD ZAR tried to run on Wednesday, retraced, and Thursday was a strong sell-off against the ZAR, and then recovered a little bit on Friday. This is one pair. USD Hungarian foreign, strong reaction to the upside. We're clearly holding this 373 level. There was a resistance before. We built a very strong support here, and we had a nice move. Let's see how this week plays for this pair. And we spoke about Norwegian krona as it showed some weakness against the dollar. A lot of it to do with the weak prices on oil, as well as Norway is one of the producers of oil. So you could see here, dollar has been very strong, establishing support here. Nice move on Wednesday. And funny enough, we hit that trend line that we established a while ago. If you could see here, we drew that trend line a while ago. Take a look. I just connected simply the 2 lows, and take a look. It was a lot of plays around it, and this Wednesday's move hit exactly the trend line and retraced. So we'll continue watching Norwegian krona as well. So that wraps up the Forex world for us. And for dessert, it's worth, of course, to see Mr. Champion Bitcoin, which is trading close to 80,000 mark. The high as of today, we hit almost 80, 79,969. And as I mentioned to you, Trump's pro crypto ideas paying very positive or playing very positive role in cryptos. All the cryptocurrencies are on the upside move. Katie Wood, she's probably very, very happy with her fund, as she's invested heavily in Bitcoin and Tesla as well. So the fund is doing good. That's pretty much all for today. So again, don't forget the social medias, subscribe, click likes, share, write your comments. And just to summarize, we had one of the probably craziest weeks in a while. Trump won. It's going to be a reshuffling of things, the policies and everything else. Going to be cleaning the house kind of business in the United States. It could be good, it could be bad. For some, it's going to be good. For others, it's going to be bad. China is not very happy. Some Europeans are not very happy because the upcoming tariff changes and other things. US dollar is happy. Banks are happy. Tesla is very happy. Elon Musk, I guess you can give him a title of vice president. I'm just kidding, but he's going to be involved, already involved in things. You know, as I like to say, we're living in a very interesting time. So we're going to be seeing a lot of things in the upcoming weeks, months, and 4 years, definitely. A lot of promises that Trump made. Thank God it was peaceful, not as it was 4 years ago. So both Harris and the current president, they said positive things, and they're ready to peaceful transition of power whenever the time comes in January. So the upcoming week, we have a few important things. We have CPI, PPI numbers, Japanese numbers, Chinese numbers. It's going to be interesting. We have companies still reporting the earnings for the third quarter. And we'll be watching either continuation in equity markets to the upside. We might see reaction and correction to the downside. I want to wish everyone a successful and positive week. Prepare yourself, watch your risks, and enjoy the weekend. Get some energy. All the best. We should be back next Sunday. Take care. All the best.